Ende baye kene kweni mono asim na no ya dera ni bona mma da do de ne kunu chine so na Eastern 24 aya gbapụ ọsọ iburu na ịchafụ ife anyị ji maka ewe ebe n'iru akwụkwọ ụbọchị uhuruchi nke taa na Eastern 24 unu gee ntị ka o si akpọtụ ka ebe ife si aga Maazị Nnamdi Kanu now is right. Yes, when Maazị Nnamdi Kanu said that Nigeria has expired, atụrụ ya tukpo n'ụlọ mkpọrọ ka egbuo ya, but the Northern Forum now has come out with their full ground egwage that Nigeria has expired, and the fana agbazi mbọ nkewa obodo a akwụna ụta ka o si adị gen ya bụ ife nwanne anyị nwoke. Some of our brothers reactions gbasịta maka ya bụ the update unu ga-esi ya na dropụra ifu nche n'iru akwụkwọ n'ụdị nke unu. Alright, over to you.
That suppressed him. Having said that, let's move on. Northern Elders Forum coming out to say that Nigeria has expired 10 years ago since it was amalgamated 2014. Professor Ango Abdullahi, the convener of the Northern Elders Forum, said and he declared that Nigeria was in dire need of fundamental political and economic reforms as the legal instrument that established it as a country in 1914. It has expired 10 years ago. Nigeria needs restructuring. That is what Ango Abdullahi is saying. Nnamdi Kanu once said this, that Nigeria has expired. There's a need for it to be renegotiated. And when you look at the different tribes, everyone agrees that Nigeria needs renegotiation. But the witches and wizards in power, all from whether north, south, west, and east, they don't want a renegotiation because they are benefiting from this non-functional society, non-functional country, corrupt country. The politicians are much more interested in power and money and all that they can accumulate to themselves than the lives, the betterment of the lives of the people they are leading. Now, it is coming from the mouth of the Northern Elders Forum, not from the mouth of Simon Ekpa, nor from the mouth of Maazị Nnamdi Kanu. The Northerners are the ones saying it now, that Nigeria needs renegotiation. Nigeria needs to change economic reforms. The legal instrument that established Nigeria has expired. And what is needed now? Everybody needs to renegotiate their stance in Nigeria. The Southeasterners have been saying this over and over again. Now, this is coming from a Northerner. Shore said a lot of things during his podcast at the Honest Bunch in Lagos. He talked about how before Igbos can survive in Nigeria, Nigeria needs to divide. That's a Yoruba man. He also talked about how Igbos have practically left Nigeria, looking at the collapse of institutions in the southeast. The police stations are closing, the courts are closing, other federal government parastatals are closing because of the situation in the southeast. And when you look at an average Igbo man, he wants out. He is fighting for a legitimate cause. This is another point. Nigeria has expired 10 years ago. It was amalgamated 1914. Even, I don't know who were the people that came together to say this is an agreement we have that we must be one Nigeria. The people were not consulted. They just took some people, whoever they can merge together, and they were saying that this is Nigeria. Whereas we are never meant to be together and one. Those that are saying that the unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable, people like the Sultan of Sokoto, he has oil wells in the Niger Delta region. Why would he not say that the unity of Nigeria is non-negotiable? Shetima, that is saying all he's saying, is the vice president, and he's getting all he can get from the oil in the south and the southeast. The Northerners are always benefiting from Nigeria at the expense of them being parasites to the country. But this is a Northerner, the convener of the Northern Elders Forum, that has come out to say this country has expired. We need to renegotiate the country. Forget those southern politicians that are saying that Tinubu must complete 8 years before we can start discussing about anything. Forget those Southeasterners that don't believe that there can be a Biafran country, a Biafran nation. They are interested in their positions in Nigeria because they believe that if there's a renegotiation, if there's restructuring, every one of them will lose their position. They will lose their status. For instance, if we have Biafra, now, do you think somebody like Uzodinma will not be expelled? Do you think that somebody like Umahi will not be expelled? Do you think that some people, some other persons in someone like Soludo will not be expelled? Those that worked against the agitation, the Biafra agitation, don't you think that they are at risk? Their position in the new country, in the renegotiated country, is at risk. That's why they will fight with all their strength, with everything they have. Somebody like Ojukwu Bianca would be declared persona non grata in a Biafra. You see, when people look at those that are calling Biafra, they believe that. I was like among them before. I was asking this question, how do these people want to get this Biafra? So I had to make my research, and I looked at other countries that got their independence, and I look at how this current system, this current administration of the APC wants to kill and destroy the destiny of Nigerians. The other time, P2B told nurses, you can't jackpot. He told the nurses after donating, I think 60 million naira, he told them, if you have opportunity, leave the country. Somebody who is a politician in a country is advising his countrymen to leave the country. So what's the essence of becoming part of that country? People are looking for ways to leave this country. People go through the desert, risk their life. It's just like a death sentence. They go through the seas. Many of them drown and they die on the way. They get lost because of the kind of society that we find ourselves. The government has held the people bound and in bondage. I said the other time that it is not a good time to become a Nigerian, because as a Nigerian, the odds are against you. Your leaders, they are all together. They have all, whether it is Igbo, see, all these bigotry they are doing online. The tall and short of the bigotry is to keep Tinubu in power for 8 years. The bigotry is just political, in the real sense of it. Those that are at the upper echelon, upper house, those that are there, they are much more united than every other Nigerian. They use the cause division amongst Nigerians, and they rule. And they have their field day. Like I said, I hope Uzodinma does not deserve a second term. Who will vote for him? But now he's going to finish his second term. Because of the insecurity in the Southeast, they capitalize on insecurity and division amongst the people to have their say and their way in the position of authority they find themselves. So the politicians are 100% against renegotiation of the country, restructuring of the country. APC deceived. With all they deceived us that Buhari is Mr. Integrity. They deceived us that we were going to start restructuring the country. First 4 years of Buhari, where? Second years of Buhari, nothing. Tinubu has come. Everything is just upside down. Nobody understands what is happening. Nobody wants to restructure. These politicians don't want to restructure the country. You see, the kingdom of heaven suffered violence, and the violent will take it by force. If you sit down and do nothing to your destiny, how would you... Because I wonder when some people think that going to heaven is just like you are of a sober spirit. Look at what Israel is doing to Hamas and their enemies. They sing to God and they take action. What action are you taking to better the life of yourself and your unborn generation? Do you know your chances? Your chances as a Nigerian or whoever you are in this country, do you know what your chances are? What are your chances if you graduate from university, you get a good job? Now, the way the economy is today, if you're earning 500,000 naira and you have a family, my brother, you're a poor man, you're a pauper. 500,000 naira cannot take care of a family of 4 or 3, maybe husband and wife, 2 children, 500,000 naira cannot take care of a family as we speak today. As a graduate, how much are they going to even pay you after you spend all your years, 5 years in the university, 1 year serving, and you get a job? How much are they going to pay you? Can you keep up? Can you meet up? What is the government doing to ameliorate the pain and suffering of the masses? Instead, they lie, manipulate, and carry out all sort of propaganda. They are interested, they are very much happy that the people are suppressed. And you expect me to just sit down with you and start every day complaining about Nigeria, complaining about this. I can do well when we talk about Nigerian politics. I can do a lot of analysis. There are a lot of topics to talk about Nigerian politics. Most things that Nigerians don't understand, there are a lot of things we can do. But the bottom of everything is that the average class that is supposed to drive the revolution, we have the upper class, we have the average class, that is the middle class, and we have the other class. If you are going to carry out any protest or revolution, you need the average class to sponsor such protests, because the upper class, they are against anything progress of the Nigerian people. The middle class is no more. We don't have middle class in Nigeria anymore that can cause any change. Everybody is either you are rich or you are poor. Who will say? Usually you hear people say, I can feed you. When you go on the road now, you can see somebody say, I can feed you. Do you know who I am? Or do you know me? Do you know who I am? But now nobody is saying it because the average class is no more there. So why will I waste my time? Start fighting for a country. I speak to politicians, I speak to some people, I speak to policy makers. I've spoken to most of them, and when I look at what they say, there's no hope for the country. They know. Even the Tinubu said he doesn't believe in one Nigeria. They know. If a Professor Ango Abdullahi who says such, Northern Elders Forum, that Nigeria needs renegotiation, they have seen a lot of things. Just that those that are in power. You know, what about Nigerians is that if a Nigerian is suffering now, and by mistake he has an employment, but he joins the government or becomes a PA to a minister, he will not, as the activism, the way he used to complain, he will not complain that same way because he has become part of them. Nigerians are complaining because they are not at the table. If they are at the table, they will forget every other thing that they are saying. So people that are eating well now, they don't care. They are just concerned about themselves. That is what the upper class is doing. They are much more concerned about themselves and their family. So far that they are getting the money, they are stealing the money. They are looting funds from the Nigerian treasury. They are ganging up to suppress the people and have their way. They are okay with it. They are not concerned about any other person, whether Nigerians are suffering. Everything you see they do, it is just crocodile tears. They are just sharing. Any sympathy you see they do, just rubbish. Look at Alex Mascot, that man that slapped that Uber guy. After his altercation with the Uber guy, he went to his constituency and provided free school bus for them. He's trying to play on the minds of people. Before then, we didn't see any school bus. Before he had that issue with the Uber guy, we did not see any school bus. But after he was exposed, after his political was threatened, after he was threatened politically, his political future was threatened, he now went to buy bus so that they can see him as a good person. PR managers are all over him now, trying to tell him what he can do to look like a good person. That is what the upper echelon does. They present themselves to you as good whilst they are evil. So the more reason Nigeria needs to renegotiate its existence. The Igbos are the first to take the bold step, because Nigeria is all out against the Igbo man. Even though I don't trust Shore in what he's saying, most of the things he's saying, I agree with him on this one. Don't you know that after Peter Obi, I said it once in my broadcast that Shore is working for the government. Shore, Adeyanju and other guys, They are working for the government. Everybody is, sometimes I wonder, everybody is after P2B's life. An Igbo man so popular, they never expected that he was going to be that popular and defeat Tinubu. They are doing all they can. They spend millions on media. They are doing all they can to bring this man down. Even a Showore went to a podcast. Most of the things he was saying was about P2B, denigrating P2B. P2B is this, P2B is that. We are looking at issues. We are talking about P2B. You look at it very well. That after P2B finished his podcast, they sent a Showore to be able to douse, one cancel one. To cancel all P2B has said against the government. People actually did not even listen to what P2B said. So the media warriors, the media people that are being paid, were taking some of the little things that P2B were saying that was inconsistent to them. They started making it an issue. You're not looking at the issues he talked about, the current government and how the government has impoverished the people. They are not looking at it. They are not looking at inflation, how Nigerians are suffering. They are looking at the fact that he said he built 2 Savannah bank branches. He had a supermarket when he was in school. That was their focus. People that are suffering, that was their focus. It wasn't enough. They had to bring a Showore. So the Showore will now come and finalize everything. Spoil P2B, that's the point. That is the point I'm getting. But for other things he said about the Igbo man, my brother, if he is going to be smart with that statement, he's also saying the truth. He's trying to make himself that popular much more than Obi. Most of the things he's saying so that he can be more popular than Obi and gain the sympathy of the people. But you see, he has lost it. He has lost it. So when will he not agree and come together and call for a referendum? That is the next thing. When will they not come together and agree and call for a referendum? Now that Northern Elders Forum, they are saying that Nigeria needs to be renegotiated. And it is possible. For those that think it is not possible, Nigeria can be renegotiated. I've said it over and over again. And I'm very happy that I'm alive at this point in time. I'm very happy that I'm an Igbo man at this point in time. I'm a proud Igbo man to the core. Some people were even surprised that, come, Christian, how come you were able to identify with this? Because I had the Yoruba behavior. I was born here. I like Amala. I eat their food. I understand their language. I speak their language and everything. I have that kind of behavior. I'm calm and everything. And wow. They say I'm behaving like. Some people never believed that I'm Igbo. They never believed. They were surprised and shocked. How did this guy switch from behaving like this into behaving like this and supporting a die-hard supporter of Biafra? My brother, it is in the blood. I have had opportunities to be in some places, and because of my name, Christian Chukwu, they denied me access. They denied me what every other person that I was even better than 100%. They got the opportunity. You limit opportunities to somebody because of his name. I was looking for a house then. I know the kind waka. Fe Igbo. Somebody was even asking me a question. Where are you from? You are from this? No. A deacon in a redeemed church had a house. We went to the house. The agent, a Yoruba man. The deacon said no. So I was asking myself questions. Okay, these people, they are children of God. Is Jesus a Yoruba man? Or would you go answer the Yoruba name in heaven? Or how do you think that as a Christian you should be behaving like that? That you need to segregate. I've said it before. You cannot be a bigot, a Yoruba Ronu, and become a Christian. It is not possible. In fact, you cannot be an APC member and think you are going to heaven. You cannot abide by the rules and principles of this current APC, created and formed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and you don't criticize the things that they are doing. You don't criticize it. You just accept everything they are doing. My brother, you are not a Christian. You can be a Muslim. Yes, they can tolerate all such. You are not a Christian. So everybody needs to come together and ask for a referendum We want out already. The Igbos have had their stand. The Northerners, I don't know how sincere they are, but play by play, by force, by fire, everybody will come to that table and demand for referendum. Maybe the Yorubas are waiting for Tinubu to finish their tenure. It go shock you what will happen. And I'm just praying that this Yoruba Ronu that are causing trouble, causing ethnic hate and division on social media, one day they might take it from online to offline. And when there is a clash, and it is ethnic clash, that is when everybody will now come out and pour out their mind. I love what Lagos State government is doing, renaming streets. If it's Igbo name, push it out. Don't erase it and put Yoruba name. Let the C of O even go. Continue in what you are doing. Cause division among the people because you think you are preserving the Yoruba heritage. You don't know what brought you together, what amalgamated you. They said that the amalgamation has expired. I want you people to continue doing what you are doing. Be self-preservant in Yoruba land. Don't be liberal anymore. Don't be liberal anymore so that it can fast track regionalism or whatever balkanization of the country. It can fast track it. We are praying for these guys to be successful in it. So it is not I that say it. It is the Northern Elders Forum that have said it. Nigeria has expired and we want a renegotiation. For the ears that can hear, let them hear. You are watching this broadcast. I know that there will be a point in time that will come back and I'll tell you that I said it over and over again that something will happen. And that thing that will happen will shock the whole world. And a country will emerge. And that country will be Biafra. And every one of us, in this current geographical location, the Oduduwa, the Arewa, will be so thankful that some people took it upon themselves to fight for their liberation. Even it took their lives. They took it upon themselves to fight for their liberation that has made every other person key into that liberation. We have a prosperous Biafra, a prosperous Oduduwa, and a prosperous Arewa. Then the people will be the greatest and best beneficiaries. But as we have it, the people cannot benefit under this system and this regime. It is only the ruling class and ruling class, the upper class, the politicians that can benefit. That's why you need to join me, whether you're outside Igbo and Yoruba. Join me. Let's ask for a system. And the only way you can get that system is either regionalism or balkanization of this mere geographical expression, as being said by Obafemi Awolowo.
Daalụ nne nụ ndị be anyị konisi wee na-esoyela anyị n'ife anyị na-eme n'iru akwụkwọ na Eastern News 24. Unu nụrụ ife nwanne nwoke kwuru n'iru akwụkwọ and ya bụ ife Maazị Nnamdi Kanu na-eti mkpu na-alụ aka na-atụ aka na Nigeria ọgwụgwọ, that it has expired since 10 years ago. Akwụ nụrụ ya. Now ndị Awụsa apụtago full ikwuzi okwu na ha achọzi. Agwara m unu onye ọbụla kwado na anyị na-ana n'obodo unu achọ na-egwuregwu na anyị na-ana ife m gwara unu mana nsogbu adịrọ. Mbọsị nta ka achọ na owere nche mara na anyị na-ana ife m chọrọ egwu unu ka ife nwere ike gbasịta maka ya bụ ife niile nọ n'iru akwụkwọ. Ya bụ nwanne nwoke kwuru drọpụrụ ife iche n'ụdị nke gị na Eastern News 24 ka ife isi iche nwoke mesịa na ụmụnne m.